Hey Brandon,
Hey, Nicholas, how are you?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. Apologies, I'm driving, but I will be out of the car in about 5 minutes.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. I'll cover some stuff with you, and then there's actually a copy of what I'm going to be covering with you in this invitation as well.
Oh,
So
oh, perfect.
so if we cover some stuff and you want to recap, A, you can always give me a call, or B, you can have these numbers in front of you later as well. Just so you know.
Perfect. Brilliant. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely, brother. So if it's okay, I'll go in and I'll start covering some of the KPIs, and we'll get started if that's all right.
Sure. Sounds good.
Awesome, man. So right now the cold calling is looking pretty average. If I'm being honest, right
Yeah.
now for houses, not bad, not good, um, average, maybe slightly on the very slightly above average, and very slightly, but definitely very average, the cold calling. So what we've done there is 2,447 dials. 225 people picked up the phone, and seven of those so far became leads.
Right.
Um, and then we do have 553 dials left. And if the numbers do continue, there should at least be one lead in that 553. Judging from everything that we saw, you should end up at like a minimum of eight on the cold calling. Um,
Okay.
and then to and then to dive deeper into those numbers, we do have a good contact rate, 9.19%, which that's great. That's an average over dialing everybody three times, which is really good. So each time we've dialed them, we've had a 9.919% average, which is great. And then only 20 people out of the 220 told us that we had the wrong number, which is awesome, which means that we had 91% of the people actually own the property that we were calling about. Okay,
Good.
so yeah, exactly. So great info there. And then we have our text messaging. Text messaging just really blew up here. The campaign did really well on text messaging, which is great to see. We've done only 1,200 text messages so far. 168 people replied, which is great. That's about a 15 to 17% response rate. That's very good. And then 15 became a lead. So one great rule of thumb with texting is if you're averaging one lead per 100 texts, which you're actually beating a little bit right now, then your texting campaign, the market is responding very well to that. Now, I do know that texting leads are most often a much broader spectrum of lead than the cold calling, a lot more bullshit answers, a lot more stuff like that. But anyways, that's like the numerical side. We do still owe you 295 texts as well. So still more coming out of that. But I always like to ask, because this is only the numbers. So I always like to ask, how's everything been on your side with the leads, and how's everything felt? This is how they look, right? But how do they feel? you know?
Okay. I've met some quality people through the leads. I've gone and seen three houses, maybe two.
Right.
Two I've seen. Well, it's just actually on my way back from one right now.
Okay.
Two I've seen. Two I've yet to see. Not my fault. They're procrastinating.
Right.
Uh, um, it's interesting. I'm glad I did it. I'm really glad I did it because I'm in the Northeast and I'm in Boston, so it's you always think, oh, my market, nobody wants to do terms, nobody wants to do wholesale, but it just shows you there are people if you know what to do and if you can work them hard enough.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I love that you captured that out of it, right? While people are out there feeling defeated, you're like, well, I'm kind of sitting on 24 people right now who've at least expressed an interest. It's like getting them, and to your second point, getting them there is a good deal of work.
Right, right, right,
It's
right, right.
and I think that's what going to be one of the next things I work on, just so you know, Brendan, is I think the evolution of my business is how can I teach my clients how to convert more deals, right? Because I think getting the leads, we've kind of got a good system for that. but the system that's variable client to client now is what they do with them. So I'm thinking for my next product, which will probably be created in 2024, and it might even be free. You know, if I can create something that helps clients be happier and buy more products, I don't have to sell it. You know, but that is something I'm working on too, as well, to where it's like you can feel like you kind of have a head start on what to do when these things do come in.
Right. What do you think? You know how you said there's X amount of text messages left and X amount of calls?
Yeah.
Is it too late in the game to change my area, my focus area?
No, it's not too late. These numbers should be updated immediately. Let me reach out to my team real quick. And, you know, a second. The only thing you might have to do, but it's not a lot of records left, is you have exactly about 500 dials and 250 text messages, which is perfect. So you might only have to incur a small fee on the list pulling and the skip tracing. It'd be like $32 or something. And then we would pull the list and skip trace them, and then we'd call that new list and text them all as well for you. Okay. But yeah, I just told my team to do that. Now, do you want me to send you a form where you can give us the criteria for the new area? Do you want me to send you that in an email?
Or I can just tell you, I'm interested in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
And I don't, I'm not expecting magic because there's only X amount of, phone calls and texts, but I'm curious to just try different markets. I live in Boston. I've lived in what do you call it? Charleston, and honestly, not just through you, but through everything, I'm like, these guys are, excuse the language, way up their own asses. They think their houses are all worth 50 million each, and I'm like, maybe they are, but I don't think they are. And I want to go where people actually want to do deals. It doesn't have to be the best place in America. I can work in any state.
Okay, I like that, and Birmingham should be good too. Sometimes that does well. Alabama and those kind of states do well. And if Birmingham itself, I know, is one of the more popular places inside Alabama. But we could do that. And then you're doing houses, right? I'll tell my team now, houses.
Correct.
And then do you have a property value range?
No, I'm open. Or guide me if you think I should go between this. Tell me, you know more than I do. You just all do.
Yeah, it's often relative to the area. I just told my team to do a max value of 400K.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of money down there.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's just a max. And that's to help make sure we don't get anything above that, right? It's like, I always tell people, you always want to put in a max at least. A minimum's not always that important, but definitely a max. And then let me see, what other questions do we ask? List, we got the area, we got that it's houses. Absentee owners is probably what I would recommend.
Sure.
Okay. And then I'm gonna do 35% or greater equity on that as well. Those are normally our recommended stats.
Yep.
And the team said you actually had some list pulling credits left as well.
Okay.
So good. So it probably won't cost you a thing. We'll get up and running. We'll knock those out starting this week.
Perfect. I'm excited. Sorry, my big pitbull's head is in.
That's great. That's great, and I love it. But yeah, if you need anything too, Brendan, in the meantime, give me a call on my cell phone. I'm right here for you, brother. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, I appreciate the personal service. It's great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Have a good day, sir.
You too. Take care.